Mga idol at kabayan, breaking news! Philippine Coast Guard nakatanggap ng isang high-tech na barko. Ang barkong ito ay idinisenyo mismo ng US Navy para maging isang landing craft para magdala ng mga military equipment, halimbawa ng mga battle tanks. Dagdag pa dito, kahit na 4 na talampakan lang ang lalim ng dagat, kayang-kaya nitong dumaong at joystick ang ginagamit para i-maneuver ang nasabing barko. Pilipinas muling sumikat at napahanay sa 23 mga bansa matapos bumili ng isa sa pinakamalaking eroplano na gawa ng Amerika. Not just one, kundi 3 C-130J Super Hercules ang binili ng bansa. Inilabas ng Departamento ng Depensa noong 2023 ang notice to proceed para sa nasabing proyekto. Amerika, pinaghahandaan ang posibleng digmaan nila ng China. Panama Canal, gustong bawiin ng Amerika dahil napatunayan nila na ito ay kontrolado ng Chinese Communist Party. Philippine Coast Guard BRP-3 sa Magbanwa, tuloy ang pag-box out sa mga barko ng China na nagtatangkang lumapit sa baybayin ng Zambales. Pilipinas muli na namang umukit sa kasaysayan matapos maisama sa mga lista ng mga bansa na operator na ng isa sa pinakamalaking eroplano sa mundo. Isa sa mga kilala at malaking kumpanya sa depensa ng Amerika, kinilala ang Pilipinas bilang isa sa 23 mga bansa na operator na ng C-130J Super Hercules. Kung inyong maalala, noong Oktubre ng taong 2023, iginawad ng Departamento ng Depensa ng Pilipinas ang notice to proceed para sa pagbili ng 3 brand new na Lockheed Martin C-130J Super Hercules aircraft para mapahusay pa ang kakayahan ng hukbong papuwid ng Pilipinas sa taktikal. Nakatakdang darating ang mga bagong C-130J Super Hercules, ang unang eroplano sa Hulyo at ang ikalawa naman sa Oktubre ng taong 2026. Ang ikatlong eroplano ay darating sa bansa sa Enero ng taong 2027. Nakaka-proud mga kabayan dahil ang wala tayo noon, magkakaroon na tayo ngayon. Isang patunay na tuloy-tuloy lang ang Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program. Sa ibang balita naman, good news mga kabayan, Philippine Red Cross ibinigay ang isang barko sa Philippine Coast Guard, ang MV Amazing Grace na kayang magdala ng nasa 120 katao at nasa 20 mga sasakyan ay opisyal ng nasa mga kamay ng Philippine Coast Guard. Kaya nitong dumaong saan mang karagatan sa Pilipinas, maging sa mababaw na katubigan ng mga isla natin sa West Philippine Sea. Ang barkong ito ay orihinal na idinisenyo ng US Navy bilang landing craft para magdala ng mga military equipment, halimbawa ng mga battle tanks. High-tech ang barko na ito mga kabayan dahil gamit ang isang joystick lamang para sa pagmaniobra ng sabing barko. Bagay na bagay ito para sa mga resupply mission sa mga base militar ng Pilipinas sa Calayan Island Group. Sa ibang balita naman, sa Amerika, muling binuksan sa US Senate ang investigasyon ukol sa kagustuhan ni President Trump na ibalik sa Amerika ang pagkontrol ng Panama Canal matapos kanilang malaman na ang daliwin ng mga barko simula sa pampubliko, pribado at militar ay may malaking impluensya ang China. Ayon sa isang senador ng Amerika, kapag nakontrol at isinara ng China ang Panama Canal, pwede itong magdulot ng banta sa kanilang ekonomiya at maging sa seguridad ng kanilang bansa. Mahalaga ang Panama Canal para sa Amerika dahil dito dumadaan ang mga barkong pandigma ng US Navy mula Atlantic at Europa pabalik sa dagat Pasipiko.
We're here today to examine a monument to American ingenuity, the Panama Canal. Senator Moreno down there suggested we open the hearing by playing Van Halen and Panama. We may not do that, but between the American construction of the Panama Canal, the French effort to build an isthmus canal, and America's triumphant completion of that canal, the major infrastructure projects across Panama cost more than 35,000 lives. For the final decade of work on the Panama Canal, the United States spent nearly $400 million, equivalent to more than 15 billion today. The Panama Canal proved a truly invaluable asset, sparing both cargo ships and warships the long journey around South America. When President Carter gave it away to Panama, Americans were puzzled, confused, and many outraged. With the passage of time, many have lost sight of the canal's importance, both to national security and to the U.S. economy. Not President Trump. When he demanded fair treatment for American ships and goods, many in the media scoffed. But the Panama Canal was not just given away. President Carter struck a bargain. He made a treaty. And President Trump is making a serious and substantive argument that that treaty is being violated right now. This committee has jurisdiction under the Senate rules over the Panama Canal, and today we will examine evidence of potential violations. President Trump has highlighted two key issues. Number one, the danger of China exploiting or blocking passage through the canal. And number two, the exorbitant costs for transit. Chinese companies are right now building a bridge across the canal at a slow pace so as to take nearly a decade. And Chinese companies control container ports at either end. The partially completed bridge gives China the ability to block the canal without warning. And the ports give China ready observation posts to time that action. This situation, I believe, poses acute risks to U.S. national security. Meanwhile, the high fees for canal transit disproportionately affect Americans because U.S. cargo accounts for nearly 3/4 of canal transits. U.S. Navy vessels pay additional fees that apply only to warships. Canal profits regularly exceed $3 billion. This money comes from both American taxpayers and consumers in the form of higher costs for goods. American tourists aboard cruises, particularly those in the Caribbean Sea, are essentially captive to any fees Panama chooses to levy for canal transits. And they have paid unfair prices for fuel bunkering at terminals in Panama as a result of government-granted monopoly. Panama's government relies on these exploitative fees. Nearly 1/10 of its budget is paid for with canal profit. As those fees cascade through the American economy and the federal fisc, the Chinese Communist Party advances its global economic contest against the United States and takes a militaristic interest in the canal. While President Trump has rightly focused on these key issues, there are additional problems. In the last 2 years, the Canal Authority generated record revenue even while transits were depressed by drought conditions. And the only comfort to delayed and overcharged ships is that Panama may invest in more freshwater reserves in the future. Even as it takes advantage of the global maritime system, Panama has emerged as a bad actor. Panama has for years flagged dozens of vessels in the Iranian Ghost Fleet, which brought Iran tens of billions of dollars in oil profits to fund terror across the world. And Chinese companies have won contracts, often without fair competition, as the infamous Belt and Road Initiative has come to Panama. China often engages in debt trap diplomacy to enable economic and political coercion. In Panama, it also seems to have exploited simple corruption.
Dagdag pa ni US State Secretary Marco Rubio, ang pakikialam ng China sa Panama Canal ay may malalim na dahilan. Sinabi nito na posibleng isarado ng China ang kanal kapag nagkaroon ng gera o digmaan ang China at Amerika. Kaya ngayon pa lang dapat na itong maitama. Ito ang isa sa mga rason kung bakit hindi dapat makuha ng China ang West Philippine Sea dahil ganito rin ang posibleng gagawin ng China sa atin. Haharangan nito ang mga kalakal at maging ang mga barko ng militar ng bansa kapag sila ang may kontrol ng buong South China Sea at West Philippine Sea. Balitang West Philippine Sea naman tayo mga kabayan. Tuloy-tuloy naman ang ginagawang pagharang ng pinakamalaking barko ng Pilipinas sa China Coast Guard na pilit lumalapit sa baybayin ng Zambales.
The Philippine Coast Guard vessel 9701. This is China Coast Guard vessel 3304, patrolling in the sea area under the jurisdiction of People's Republic of China in accordance with the law. The so-called award for South China Sea arbitration is illegal and invalid. China neither accepts nor recognizes. Over.
To China Coast Guard Vessel 3304, this is Philippine Coast Guard Vessel BRP Teresa Magbanwa MRRV 701. In accordance with the Republic Act 12064, the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea to which you are a party, and the 2016 Arbitral Award, we are conducting maritime law enforcement operation. You are advised that you are currently sailing within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone, approximately 102 nautical miles southwest of Capones Point, Zambales, Philippines. You do not possess any legal authority to patrol within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. You are directed to depart immediately and notify us of your intention. Your illegal activity will be reported to higher authorities. Over.
Laban Pinas.